Hello, it's me, JDQG. Well, today we are working on a new project, and our inspiration is Mr. KK Slider from Animal Crossing. I've always thought he was so cool with his music and his look and everything. He's got a really good aesthetic and everything, so I thought the least I could do was to make a doll inspired by him. I had a lot of fun making the video for Timmy and Tommy last time. So I decided, since I'm going to continue painting dolls, I'm just going to go ahead and record them and share them, and if people enjoy them, that's great. So without further ado, let's get right into this video, yeah? So for today's victim, we will be making a hybrid. We will be using the body of this lovely Creatable World doll and the head of this Bratz Boyz doll. The head belongs to a Koby doll, and the body, I don't think they have names for these dolls. I do think they have serial numbers, but I'm not gonna get into that. First thing we will do is remove the head. Now I need to use my heat gun to warm up the head, because if not, we can break the neck, especially in the Mattel doll. Those necks are very fragile for some reason. They're also harder to take off, as you can tell from this. Since this is going to be a Bratz doll, we are going to take the feet off because we're going to make some modifications to those ankles later. I don't really like the hands that come with this doll, so I pulled out all the extra hands that I have, and I tried each of them on until I was happy with the pair. These hands came from an articulated Barbie. I actually like them because they get a little closer to the size of the Bratz hands, but also look at them fingers, the positioning is delicate. Which is perfect for playing a guitar, I think. I don't know, I don't play a guitar. Next thing is to remove his hair. First I use my scissors to cut off all the hair, as much as I can, and then I use my heat gun to melt the glue inside his head, so then I can pull it out with these pliers. Now that all the hair is gone, it is time to use some pure acetone to remove the paint. First I remove the paint from the hair, and then we take off that pretty face. Now that all the paint is gone, it is time to replace it with more paint. First, we are going to be painting the top of his head with some white acrylic paint. I have to paint there because it is the area where it's going to be re-rooted. I kept thinking how I could mimic KK Slider's ears, so I decided to give him a center part and give him Leonardo DiCaprio hair circa 1990s. But this doll had a side part, so now I have to create a new center part, which I will create with this owl needle by punching a new row of holes in the center of his head. For his hair, I'm going to be using this 100% acrylic yarn. I will cut a few strands of yarn at approximately 4 inches each. And we will jump right into rerooting with our beautiful rerooting tool. We first take care of the outline, and then we work our way into the center. This is what it looks like once it's done. Here you can see our perfect little center part. I'm using some fabric tech glue to secure the yarns. Cause trust me, you do not want to lose any hair before you even get it done. Once the glue has dried, I use some tape to protect the face, as well as keeping down the yarn that is not being brushed yet. I first brush it with a ballpoint wire brush, which separates the strands. And then I use a needle type wire pet brush, which is used to smooth out the fibers. Once I'm done brushing, it'll look like this, like a big old fluff ball. Once the whole thing is brushed out, I use some tape to keep the parts separated. I need to bring the hair up and protect it because we will be spraying Mr. Super Clear. I am basically making a cone out of the orange tape. Once the hair is protected and I have sprayed 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear, it is time to start drawing the face. I'm using my KK Amiibo figure as a reference for the eye shape. With a light brown pencil, I sketch out the eye in the shape that I want. With a combination of watercolor pencils and pan pastels, I start doing contour and highlight around the face. I also make sure I go in and blend the colors as needed, especially the watercolor pencils. Using pencils and soft pastels in different shades of pink, I start working on the lips as well. Because KK has a little bit of a rounder nose, I decided to use highlight and contour to mimic that shape. I also add some details to the lips using a light flesh watercolor pencil. After a few layers of contour, highlighting, and lips on the face, I start filling in the whites in the eye. And once I have built the white in the eyes, then I move on to carving the eye crease. With a brown pencil, I start sketching out the base to KK's magnificent eyebrows. With the same pencil, I will be mapping out the irises in the eyes. Since its eyes will be hazel, I think it will be a good outline color. I continue to fill in the eyebrows with different shades of brown. I also make sure to add highlights to the brows and irises before I start using any black. I always enjoy how the black details brings everything together so nicely. I fill in the whites in the eyes with acrylic paint to highlight them, which I first water down. With the same paint, I add eye reflections to the eyes. And then I move on to the head and I paint the areas where it will be flocked. I do, however, only paint to a certain point because I plan to create some sort of a fade on his head. With the watercolor pencils, I go back into the eyes and correct any mistakes I might have made with the paint. Now it is time for the flocking, and I'll be using this cat silk platinum white fiber. With the help from the static flocking machine. Gemtech is the glue that I use to apply the flocking. I apply some glue to the areas where I want the flock to go. Being generous and using the brush to distribute around as even as possible so it'll dry as flat as we can get it. Once the glue is ready, we start using our static machine, shaking it up and down like a salt shaker. With a soft bristle brush, we sweep away the excess from the face and the areas where it doesn't need to be. And we repeat the same process if more coverage is needed. Once the glue has dried overnight and the flocking is set in, it is time to remove the tape from the hair. It is time to pull out the straightener and straighten out that hair. Once I have straightened the whole thing out, it is not perfect, but at least it's good enough to start cutting. Once the hair is cut to the desired shape, I will cover the whole head with some saran wrap. In the meantime, I will start working on the body. First, I will be buffing all around to remove all of that gloss. Here we have a poor, really damaged Bratz doll that will be donating their ankles today. Once the ankle snaps have been extracted, it is time to use a rotary tool to modify them and get the perfect fit. Now I use some super glue to insert them into the new body for a permanent modification. Next, we contour and highlight the body using the same pastels that were used on the face. This is being done to add more dimension to the body. After the body has been sprayed with 3 layers of Mr. Super Clear, it is time to attach the head. And look at that, the ankles turn out just fine. I've got this chewing gum container which I will be using to make the stump that KK slider is sitting on. First thing we do is mix the 2-part epoxy sculpt clay. When it is thoroughly mixed, we start sculpting onto the container. Now, I know that he sits in a stool in New Horizons, but I really like the idea and aesthetic of the tree stump. I don't want this stump to be perfect, so I am planning out where the roots are going to be and adding some design elements to make it more interesting. Once I'm happy with the shape of my stump, I start adding texture to the bark. Once I'm all done with the stump, I put it aside and let it dry for 24 hours. Now it's time to remove the plastic from the head and start styling that hair. There's a lot of brushing, styling, and cutting, brushing, styling, and cutting, and again, and again. At this point, I start using an eyebrow razor to start thinning out the hair as well as texturizing it. I'll have to admit, it took me a long time to get it to where I was happy with it. Now that our stump is all dry, it is time to start painting it. I will be using this brown and coffee latte paints to paint it. After starting the brown, I realized that I probably should do the lighter color first. But then I realized that I didn't actually like that color, so I mixed some colors together until I got the one I really liked. While the stump is drying again, I will be working on this guitar. I really think it looks a lot like KK Slider's guitar. The only thing is that it is very plasticky looking. So first I'm going to start removing the paint so I can put on a new coat of paint. I of course will be using the same paints that I used on the stump. Once most of the parts I needed to be done with paint are done, it is time to move on to pencils. I want to make the front look very much like wood, so I'm going to use different shades of brown to just kind of play around with them. Once I'm happy with the way the wood looks, I move on to painting the strings and the screws on the guitar with silver paint. To finish it off, I am using a Liquitex Ultra Gloss varnish to make it look nice and shiny. Here we are now. I added a strap to the guitar and I touched up the stump a little bit with some pastels to give it some dimension. For the boots, we are using these brass ankle boots, and I do like them. I just feel like they look a little plasticky, just like the guitar did. To start, we're obviously going to remove the factory paint with some pure acetone. Next, I'm going to use my burnt sienna pan pastel to make these boots look like those nice tan boots that some of the hipsters wear. I will be building layer by layer until I'm happy with the color. I actually like the color of these soles, so I'm going to do my best to clean them up so that we can keep the true color. I actually figured out that one of my pan pastels has a really nice color for the soles, so I kind of go over them with it as well. Once we have reached that perfect tan shade on the boots, I start using this dark brown pan pastel to apply it on edges, seams, and stuff like that, just to give it that stained brown look that those tan boots get. And then I use my watercolor pencils to draw the shoelaces, emphasize the straps, and draw the nice buckle in the front. I think they are ready to be worn. And here's our final look to our handsome Mr. KK. Just kidding! You really thought I was gonna let him go out like that, didn't you? Well, even though he's one of the only characters who don't wear any clothes, I decided to give him an outfit. I made him this nice white turtleneck, which is made out of men's tank tops. You know the ones that people call wife beaters. I don't even wear those. I actually bought it just for this project. And the pants, well, they're Creatable World pants, so you know, that's why they fit perfectly. So really, from the outfit, the only thing I made was a shirt, but I think it turned out really nicely. And now, he's actually ready for his photo shoot. I was going to use the original body for this makeover, but since he's usually sitting down and playing the guitar, I felt like he needed some articulation, so that's why we made a hybrid today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see each other again.